All right, let's get into it. We hear about politics and government all the time, right? But trying to figure out how it actually works can feel like you're trying to read an instruction manual written in a totally different language. Well, today, we're going to fix that.
You know that feeling like you're on the outside looking in? You see the headlines, you hear people arguing on the news, but the actual rules of the game just seem complicated, maybe even a little bit secret.
Well, it really doesn't have to be that way. Over the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain and make sense of it all. We'll map out who's who, what they do, and most importantly, where you fit into the picture.
Okay, first things first. This is a big one that trips a lot of people up. The difference between the government and the parliament. They sound similar, but they are absolutely not the same thing. Nailing this distinction is the key to unlocking everything else.
Think about it like this. The government is the driver of a car. They've got their hands on the wheel, they're stepping on the gas, and they're deciding where the country is headed. Parliament? Well, Parliament represents all the passengers in the car. And that's us. We have the map, we check the driver's work, we can question the route they're taking, and ultimately we have to approve the final destination. So, the government runs the country day to day, but Parliament is there to hold them accountable on our behalf.
So, if the government is driving the car, then you can think of the cabinet as the engine room. This is where all the noise is happening, where the most important day-to-day decisions get made. It's the real core of their power.
The cabinet is basically the prime minister's top team. These are the senior ministers he or she handpicks to run the huge government departments, like health, education, defense, finance, all the big ones. They're the managers in charge of the major functions of the state. And this is what really gets to the heart of their power. See, they don't just react to things. They set the agenda. They are the ones who come up with the ideas for most new laws, who manage the country's daily operations, and who have to respond when a crisis hits. And that's the key. While Parliament gets to debate and vote on new laws, the ideas for those laws, they almost always start right here in the cabinet.
And right there, that's the big aha moment for a lot of people. The government proposes, and Parliament approves. If that distinction just clicked for you and you want to keep getting these kinds of clear breakdowns, take a second to hit that like and subscribe button. That way, you'll always stay one step ahead on how these big systems really work.
But of course, no government just gets to do whatever it wants. A healthy democracy needs a watchdog, and that's where the opposition comes in. And they're not just there to argue for the sake of it, they have a really important formal role to play.
The opposition's main job is to question, challenge, and scrutinize everything the government does. To do this, they form what's called a shadow cabinet. So for every government minister, there's an opposition member shadowing them, becoming an expert in that field, and coming up with alternative policies. It ensures the government's plans are always tested.
I really love this phrase. It's an old one, but it perfectly captures the idea. The opposition isn't being disloyal to the country by opposing the government. Their critical role is a vital, loyal part of how the whole system works. They are the government in waiting, all ready with their own plans, just in case the people decide it's time for a change. Okay, so we've got the basic theory down. But how does all this work in the real world, especially in a country with its own unique history and structure? Let's take a look at Malaysia, which builds on this parliamentary system, but adds a really fascinating layer of complexity.
So Malaysia is what's called a federation. That means it's basically a group of different states that have come together to form one country. But unlike some federations where power is shared pretty evenly, Malaysia's setup is a little different.
In fact, research puts it really clearly. The Malaysian constitution was designed with a heavy central bias. What that means, in simple terms, is that the national, or federal government, holds way more power than the individual state governments do.
And this chart, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? I mean, look at this. The federal government has the power to make laws in 132 different areas. The states, just 47. And we're talking about massive, crucial areas like defense, education, and national finance, all controlled from the center. That gives the national government a huge amount of influence.
But wait, the story gets even more interesting, because even within Malaysia, not all states are created equal. The states of Sabah and Sarawak have special powers that the other peninsular states just don't have. They have more control over things like land, local government, and even their own immigration. This extra autonomy was a really important part of the deal they made when they helped form Malaysia back in 1963.
So, we've looked at the big picture, from the cabinet's engine room all the way to the unique state powers in Malaysia. And it can all seem a bit
distant, can it? But every part of this system, no matter how complex, is designed to connect back to one thing, you. So let's bring it all home and talk about the most important piece of this whole puzzle, your voice.
The answer is actually pretty simple and direct. Your Member of Parliament, or MP. They are your direct line to the heart of the system. And here's the crucial part. They represent everyone who lives in their local area, not just the people who voted for that.
And getting in touch is probably easier than you think. First, just do a quick online search to find out who your MP is. Second, write to them. An email is perfect because it creates a paper trail. Just make sure you include your full address so they know you live in their area. And finally, keep it simple. Just clearly explain the problem you have or the issue you support.
And this isn't just shouting into the void. Your MP has real tools to help. They can make official inquiries to government ministers, they can bring your issue up in a parliamentary debate for the whole country to hear, and they can help pressure the government to act. Your single voice, when you send it through your MP, can become part of the national conversation.
Because at the end of the day, understanding this system is the first step to making it work for you. So if this helped you choose clarity over confusion, join our community of informed citizens. Tap that like button, hit subscribe, and let's keep making sense of these big topics together.
So, yeah, the system is complex. It's got layers and rules and different players, but never forget this. At its very core, it is designed to hear the voice of the people. It's designed for your voice. The only question left is, how are you going to use it?